He is one of the most powerful lawyers in South Carolina. He has spent his entire life on the other side of this table, asking the questions, reading the witness, controlling the room. Tonight, he is the witness. His wife and his son are dead, and he is about to tell a detective, calmly, that he was nowhere near them when it happened. What he does not know is that his son's phone already recorded the truth. This is the interrogation of Alex Murdaugh. Colleton County, South Carolina, June 7, 2021. At the family's sprawling hunting estate, 52-year-old Maggie Murdaugh and her 22-year-old son, Paul, are found shot to death near the dog kennels. The man who calls it in is Alex Murdaugh, husband, father, and heir to a legal dynasty that had run these local courts for 3 generations. He says he came home and found them. He says he was never there. Everything that follows depends on whether that is true. Watch how at ease he is in this room. He knows the rhythm of an interrogation better than the agents questioning him, because he built his career on it. He is polite. He is helpful. He volunteers. He explains. He grieves out loud at exactly the right moments. To an ordinary detective, this is a devastated father. But composure this practiced, from a man this trained, is the one thing an investigator is taught not to trust. His story is simple, and it does not change in the telling. He was at his mother's house, miles away, checking on her that evening. He came home, he says, drove down to the kennels, and found his family already gone. He gives times. He gives details. He builds a clean, confident timeline. And a clean, confident timeline, delivered by the last person to see the victims alive, is the first thing a good detective tries to break. But there is a witness in that room he cannot see and cannot charm: his dead son's phone. Minutes before the killings, Paul had recorded a short video down at the kennels, and it captured 3 voices: Paul's, Maggie's, and Alex's. A man who has just sworn he was never there is on his own son's phone at the scene at 8:44 that night. The recording does not accuse him. It simply exists, and it makes every calm word he says impossible. So watch the grief again, now that you know what the phone knows. The trembling voice, the graphic account of finding the bodies, the way he says they did his boy so bad. It is convincing. It is meant to be. This is a man performing the role of a grieving father for the one audience he has spent his entire life learning to work. The people deciding whether or not to believe him, because behind the grieving father was a man whose life was quietly collapsing. Millions stolen from his own clients and his own law firm. A financial reckoning closing in. A hearing that threatened to pull the curtain back on all of it. Investigators would come to believe these murders were not rage, but misdirection. A horror so enormous it might buy him sympathy and time. The oldest motive there is, dressed up as the unthinkable. He never confessed. He did not crack in this room. He held his story with the discipline of a man who had coached 1,000 witnesses to do the exact same thing. But a story only has to meet the evidence once. When that video played in a courtroom, in his own voice, at the scene he swore he had never been, the lawyer who had controlled every room of his life finally sat in one he could not. Alex Murdaugh was convicted of murdering his wife and his son and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He is still telling a version of this story today. What makes this tape unforgettable is not a confession, because there isn't one. It is watching a man who spent a lifetime deciding which truths a jury would ever hear, run out of the one witness he could never cross-examine, his own son's phone. So watch him again and ask yourself, when a man is this good at lying, looking you dead in the eye, how would you ever know?